One thing I have been seeing a lot of is people speaking against baby mama culture, especially in the black community. Great, great. But nobody's speaking of the root. Nobody is saying the thing that nobody wants to talk about out loud. And that is the problem with fornication culture. It's a culture that we have right now to fornicate. And if you don't know what fornication means, it means having sex before marriage.
It's been like
You
that for
cannot
decades.
bash baby mama culture without talking and bashing fornication. But most people don't want to do that because we have remedies for being a baby mom. Remedies, abortions. But it's hypocrisy to shame women that have children outside of wedlock when you're also having sex outside of wedlock. You can't shame that person. You can't shame that mother. You just don't have the evidence that you've been having sex. I had to check myself because I started getting relaxed about it. Because
I think you can. I mean, at what point do we just start holding people accountable for making the same mistakes over and over and over again? You got multiple kids from multiple baby fathers, right? Like, at what point do we stop saying, oh, you just chose wrong, or it was the men's fault, or, at some point we got to start holding you accountable.
not just with you, you see it around everywhere. Like, rarely in the black community do you see us getting married. And I think about it, I'm like, how many weddings have I been to? I think one, and I think I was about 4 years old. And one thing I saw, like a lot of my white classmates, I can look almost all of them up right now. If they have kids, they are also married. Some of them might have been dealing with cheating, but they tried to do it right. We deal with cheating in the black community too, but it's not counted as adultery because most of us are not getting married first, right? But it's like we see a problem with baby mama culture. We should see a problem with fornication too, right? It only makes sense. You got to stop it at the root. A lot of us have grown up being scared of commitment, even though we get committed to different things without really realizing it. But if you talk to a lot of young, especially Gen Z, if you talk to a lot of young black men and women about marriage right now, the eyes get big like,
Yeah, that's because we never saw it growing up. Most of us weren't in two-parent households. And if we were, they weren't married. They were just living together because they couldn't be married. They were either collecting social services, welfare, whatever, and they couldn't even be in an apartment because they had Section 8. And they were trying to hold on to their Section 8. And if they were married and their husband, was working, then you got kicked off Section 8. So a lot of us never saw that. And what we're seeing today is the very, like, the worst outcomes in marriages that go viral on social media, and we're like, oh, that can't be me, that's not going to be me. And that's why they have that disdain towards marriage. Not to mention, a lot of men were destroyed as a result of marriage, and when those they go viral, everybody knows about it. So welcome to the destruction.
Mary, it's a big deal. It's a big deal. It is a big deal. But it's something in a lot of us that was not present years ago that is making us terrified of commitment. And it's mostly because millennials and a little bit of Gen X, we just have not seen it in the last 2 to 3 decades, you know? And then you think about it, like, what exactly is wrong with fornication? Like, you just having sex with your boyfriend, you just having sex with your girlfriend. What's really wrong with it? Like, what's the problem? And sometimes you
I think the problem is a lot of it is related to corn. You can replace the K with the proper letter. But look, I think the problem here, and look, a lot of what she said is true, and I agree with it. I could talk to her all day. She reminds me of the girls that I used to be friends with back in the day. She's got a pleasant voice. But I think the problem goes way deeper than fornication culture. That's not the root. That's just what shows up after the foundation has really already collapsed. I think the real problem is the breakdown of structure, standards, and long-term thinking, vetting. We were never taught to vet. Like people didn't stop getting married because they suddenly wanted to have sex. They started having sex casually because the community stopped valuing marriage, commitment, accountability in the first place. And when structure disappears, commitment disappears. You can follow that up with when commitment disappears, accountability disappears. When accountability disappears, baby mama culture becomes normal. So she's focused on the end result and not the beginning of the problem. And this isn't some like simple case of people getting relaxed. This is a generational shift. The family unit in our community fell apart decades ago, since I was a kid. Expectations faded, trust faded, government incentives replaced discipline in men, replaced standards, hookup culture replaced courtship. People didn't forget how to do better. A lot of people never saw better to begin with. And she sidesteps something important, and I call it real accountability. She says you can't call out baby mama culture if you fornicate too. But yes, you can call out both. You don't have to be perfect to recognize a destructive pattern. You just have to be honest about where the pattern leads. So I think her solution, just stop fornicating, isn't realistic in 2025.
I have to think like you would have to look into the minds of men and the minds of women. Tony Gaskins said this thing like a lot of men will tell you that they can't live without it, but at the same time they prefer you to hold out and wait, even if they're begging you, if they do take you serious. That's from my experience too. If they take you serious, even if they beg, they want you to wait. They want you to wait. So if you ask like what's the problem with fornication, it's look around the black community right now. The lack of strong fathers, the lack of good relationships, all of that affects the community and it makes us worse off.
It's not just the black community. It's every community. Every single community is affected by this.
And the main problem with it is because God has an original picture that he wants and we're distorting it. That's the sin right there. Like I saw this girl pop up on TikTok and she was talking about the things that she was not allowed to do and allowed to do with her boyfriend. And everybody in the comments, well, many people in the comments were like, oh, that's not even a boyfriend. That's just your friend at this point. Be honest. Are you going to be able to handle having a man or woman in the same house, same room, same anything as you that you're very attracted to? Very attracted to. Y'all are both attracted to each other. He smelled good. You smell good. He looked good. You look good. He got muscles. You got hips. And babas up here. Y'all think y'all gonna be able to be alone and
Yes, look, telling people to stop having sex today is like telling people to stop using their cell phones. It's not going to happen. I don't think the answer is abstinence. The answer is raising your standards. Standards about who you deal with, who you sleep with, who you build with, and what you're willing to risk your future on. You fix the standards first, the behavior follows. But look, the bottom line is this. She means well, and she's trying to address something people avoid. But she's looking at the puddle instead of the flood, right? She's coming at it from a macro ideology. Fornication culture isn't the cause. It's a symptom of a community that stopped building families a long time ago. That's the reality of it. I'm going to leave that there. I'm always going to link the content creator back in the description. You can find them there. And what say you? Leave it in the comments. I'll see you guys on the next one.